my computer to give.
Okay, you can go.
This will work.
Is it okay?
Yes.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all the respected dignitaries, distinguished speakers, honorable participants, and the loving audience, all beautiful people present here from all around the globe. I'm Miss Nada Ratkovic, Country Director, IIU, Board Member, IIU, and the President of Research Center. Welcome all you to today on the World Science Day for Peace and Development 2022 on the topic Basic Sciences for Sustainable Development. The event jointly organized by International Internship University, IIU Research Centre, and International Human Rights Movement from the Philippines, the event for all the educators around the globe. Let's today build a bridge between science and society. Today's the theme. The World Science Day for Peace and Development is celebrating every year on November 10, and it is established by UNESCO in 2001 to highlight the important role of science in society and the need to engage the wider public in debates and emerging and important and contemporary issues relevant to the science. Yes, we will promote the science, and it is the basic science for sustainable development. Popularization of the science. Why? Because the full name of science is systematic, comprehensive investigation, exploration of natural causes and effects. That is the full form of the science. Today, we are celebrating to remember the achievements of science in achieving global peace and to continue investment in scientific education and research. All the applications of basic science are very vital for all fields, medicine, industry, agriculture, water, energy, planning, culture, and as we say, and from December 2, from 2021, and we know that this year is the International Year of Basic Science for Sustainable Development. So all the science, students, teachers, researchers, science communicators who work in science centers and science museum, independent science communicators, this this week, this day are celebrating very special day. So we need more basic science to achieve. And that is a progress, and that is a progress for all. And then we can make it, we can make this importance for the science through building the budget who is allocated around this. And if we look at the statistics, what statistics show? 86 countries in 2021 are marked less than 10% of the budget to the basic science and more than 30% to the other science. So let's together promote basic science, promote interdisciplinary science, sustainable development, the relationship between science, other science, innovation, technology, the role basic of science and new job opportunity. I am pleased and honored to present today our organizers, International Internship University, a leading virtual education system and global brand confederation, which is really most valuable and trusted worldwide. It is a trusted name for quality training programs, and it is committed to provide better and virtual education to all the young learners of the globe. And what to say, in a short span of time, IIU has spread his wings in 195 countries, 6 continents, under the strong leadership of its visionary, the founder, Mr. Piyush Pandit Sir, a committed and inspiring social activist, a passionate educationist from last 2 decades, providing education to students from various social and cultural background. The sky is the limit for his dedication and hard work. Today, with us again, International Human Rights Movement. It is working to strengthen and support all nations' capacity to engage the sustainable development through educational access, relief programs, ecological, bioethical reflections, and actions, while taking into the consideration to traditional, social, and cultural values of each nation. The main objectives of international human rights movement of the service of humanity without caste, without color, and the creed. So the struggle against the violation of human rights, bloodshed, and terrorism. To provide a service for the noble cause of maintaining peace and disputes between the nations, the groups, the individuals, and organizations, setting seminars, conferences on international issues of human rights, peace, democracy, education, health, child labor, women rights, against terrorism, narcotics, drugs, and trafficking. So it is honor today with us again, the International Human Rights Movement organizations from the Philippines. And the IIU Research Center, the third organizer, where NADA.coach, me, professor, is a president. And this is a unique hub. And what is our mission? We are giving the opportunity to all the researchers, the authors, educators, students, scholars across the globe, and we enhance the research opportunities, academic excellence, real-world problem solving, knowledge creation, dissemination. So that is our high caliber. And what me think, if you have ever thought about how would the world be without education, research, science, innovation, technology, or any development of anything, then the IIU Research Center is the right place for you. So let's start our great event. Let's start to promote science. Let's build a bridge between science and society. So it is my honor to first call the co-organizer, Dr. Frolian Dimobo, the assistant director from the Philippine ambassador. He's an ambassador at large. He's a country director of the International Human Research Movement, Philippines. So, Dr. Mobile, welcome and enlighten us with your speech.
Good evening and good morning around the world. So, today in our new normal world, where everything around us is so happening so fast, we are so grateful to have this opportunity to share with everyone the flow of scholarly works in alignment, of course, in strengthening of scholarly writings amidst the pandemic. So thank you for making yourselves available despite your busy schedule, and all your efforts and presence are highly appreciated. Again, I welcome you all to the International Conference for World Science Day for Sustainable and Development.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Frolian, for the introduction. Welcome. Let's see. For the starting, I have here so many guests, eminent guests, great science, great academicians, and I will start first with one video. With one video. So just a moment.
morning, good afternoon, good evening to all my
Is it
speakers
here?
and
Is it?
beautiful
Do we
audience
hear
from
it?
around the world.
No.
Warm greetings to all of you on the occasion of the World Science Day
Do we
for
hear?
Peace and Development as designated by the United Nations. It is an international day that highlights the relevance and significance of science in our daily lives for peaceful and sustainable societies, as well as the need to engage in conversation on emerging scientific issues to promote national and international solidarity for shared science between countries. And lastly, this day also helps to draw attention to the challenges faced by science in raising support for scientific endeavor and work. The overall objective of this day is to raise awareness of the role of science in global society and make it more sustainable around the world, as well as to mobilize all stakeholders around the topic of science for peace and development, from citizens of the world like you and me, to government officials, to media, to students across levels, pretty much anyone who's on this planet. So you can see that apart from offering an opportunity to show the general public the relevance of science in their lives and to engage them in discussions, this day also helps to bring a unique perspective to the global search for peace and development. The theme for this year's campaign, as we all know, is Basic Sciences for Sustainable Development. And it will help to showcase the efforts made in this direction by countries and act as an inspiration to one another. The basic sciences refer to scientific disciplines of mathematics, physics, chemistry, biology, geosciences, etc., since they provide a fundamental understanding of natural phenomena and the processes by which natural resources are transformed. They also help to identify mechanisms to adequately use knowledge and transfer technology. There are two fundamental goals of basic sciences: understanding our world and ourselves, and improving our lives through the development of technology and treatments for disease. We must understand that basic sciences are necessary for technological improvement and productivity, increase in agriculture, manufacturing, and the service industries, including health sciences. They provide a means to address vital challenges such as access to food, energy, health, and communication technologies for all. They allow us to understand the impact on the planet of about 8 billion people living on it, and thus help to limit or sometimes even reduce the impact. Basic sciences develop and establish information to predict phenomena and understand nature. However, it goes without saying that in doing so, we need to religiously follow or examine the primary attributes of basic sciences like objectivity, verifiability, ethical neutrality, systematic exploration, reliability, precision, accuracy, abstractness, and predictability in line with peace and sustainable development. I think knowledge of basic sciences is critical for all of us as global citizens because of dynamic times, as it helps us to make more informed choices. It's also important to be educated in these areas so that we can stay away from misinformation about sciences and the scientific world. For example, the common ill belief of the yesteryears was that machines will destroy mankind, whereas over time we realized that machines actually help and fasten the process, and they actually help human development and control, to function correctly. In today's age, a similar example or the common ill belief is that artificial intelligence is hostile and will destroy humanity, etc., etc. Whereas the fact is that AI actually complements our processes. More than often, people tend to confuse intelligence with sentience. And in fact, cinema often portrays and adds a lot of spice and imagination in the name of creative freedom. And that's why we need to be educated and well informed. AI is intelligent and not sentient. It cannot predict by itself. It can aid in prediction and draw legit conclusions for all of us. So it actually quickens the processes for mankind. It can hugely help, but cannot replace human intervention. So things like that. I mean, there are a million such examples, but we all need to be more aware and more educated. So let's not lose our sense of rationale and the hunger to know the scientific truths. Another aspect that draws my attention is whether education in basic sciences is truly focusing towards sustainability. If not, then we need to relook at the curriculum and the educational content that we provide globally. Probably environmental sciences, which has had a huge significance in today's times, especially with regard to sustainability, should be included as part of integral study in today's times. I also believe that science education from an early age gives appetite for research and it encourages people to pursue scientific careers, which is essential for the development of humanity. Moreover, the scientific methods and curiosity can be brought to many other areas of personal, professional, and social life, which contributes to the education of responsible and autonomous citizens. So we need to promote basic sciences education and teacher training. We must promote the dissemination of good practices, and we must also highlight the successful stories from countries that have significantly developed in this area and have a good cross exchange of scientific development. In many regions of the world, countries have committed to devote up to 1 to even 3% of their GDP to financing R&D programs. Well, some examples show that such expenses allow the development of the economy and of the international influence. However, most are still fairly far from their goals. We need to facilitate greater financial support to basic sciences and invite governments and people in power to reach their own commitments to finance basic sciences. We can also look at a specially devised educational program kind of a structure in basic sciences for adults who may have had to abort their studies or formal education due to financial constraints or other reasons, and are today small-time entrepreneurs creating gadgets or machines, etc. Now, imagine if their knowledge base is enhanced and they move a level up. The more people are aware of basic sciences, the more will be the movement towards innovation and growth. And we need more scientific advancement at all levels. According to the data from UNESCO Science Report 2021, for 86 countries, some devote less than 10% of their research expenditure to basic sciences, and others more than 30%. Having a capacity in basic sciences is in the interest of both developed and developing nations. And it gives the potential for applications to foster sustainable development and raise the standards of living. The World Economic and Social Survey 2018 reviews the advances in frontier technologies, automation, robotics, electrical vehicles, renewable energy resources, technologies, biotechnologies, and artificial intelligence, and analyzes their economic, social, and environmental impact. These technologies possess immense potential for fostering growth and environmental sustainability and accelerating the achievement of sustainable development. We need to ensure that advances in frontier technologies should promise innovation and ethical growth in line with peace and development, prosperity, contentment, equality, and the 2030 Agenda and its 17 Sustainable Development Goals for global society. We all need to continually work towards ensuring that the world is even more scientifically aligned through logical rationale, and that we innovate in line with the United Nations SDGs for global peace, development, and sustainability. Thank you and namaste.
Thank you. Thank you, great Dr. Kuliet. Thank you for accepting to be here. Dr. Kuliet is in United States of America. She is in the world's first image science and impact strategist. She's an amazing woman. She's unique. So this World Science Day, Dr. Kuliet, I couldn't make without you. Thank you for this great video. Thank you for your advices. And thank you for doing your world mission. I'm sure that very soon here today we have so many educators, scientists, academicians from the Philippines, and we will start the mission on the Philippines. Thank you very much. Now we are moving forward. We have an amazing personality, an amazing woman, an amazing science. She is coming from the Philippines. She is Associate Professor on the De La Salle University, and she is a Secretary General of the International Human Rights Movement. Welcome, Dr. Myla M. Arcanis. Enlighten us today with your great speech.
Hello, am I clear, Dr. Nada?
Yes,
hello,
you
everyone.
Are clear. You are
Okay.
clear and so
Thank you.
beautiful and nice to see.
Thank you. Nice to see you as well, Dr. Nada. Hello, everyone. Okay, good day. So let me share my screen.
It is great.
Okay. Okay, so good day, everyone. Okay, to begin with, I would like to thank first, the organizers of this event, the IIU Research Centre, and the IHRN Philippines, for inviting me again to be a speaker in this international conference at the 2022 International Conference World Science Day for Peace and Development with the theme Bridge Between Science and Society. I am indeed thrilled to join, these distinguished speakers from India and the Philippines. Very happy, my pleasure to join everyone. For this event, my topic, will zero in, on answering the question, how can basic sciences and evidence-based research help in the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development? I divided my talk, into two parts. So allow me, to remind everyone again, of the SDGs, including the 5-pillar values of SDGs and the 3-pillar sectors, of SDG. And then on the second part, discussing the importance of basic sciences and evidence-based research, to the 2030 SDG agenda. Hopefully, at the end of my talk, you would be able to appreciate better, basic sciences in connection, to the attainment, of the 2030 Sustainable Development Goals. Now, let me proceed, to the first part, of my talk. As we all know, the Sustainable Development Goals or global goals are basically a collection of 17 interlinked global goals, designed to achieve a better society. So these are actually blueprints, okay, to achieve a better and more sustainable future for all, not only for the present generation, but also for the future. So the SDGs were set up in 2015, okay, by the United Nations, and it actually intended to be achieved, assessed, okay, by 2030, with the main goal of ending, okay, poverty, protect our planet, and of course, ensure that by 2030, we would be able to enjoy peace and prosperity. Okay. These 17 SDG goals can actually be clustered, okay, into three groups or pillar sectors. So we have the economic sector, we have the environmental sector, and of course, we have the social sector. So the economic pillar sector includes SDGs 1, 2, 3, 8, and 9. And the environmental pillar covers 6, 7, 12, 13, 14, and 15, while the social pillar sector constitutes 4, 5, 10, 11, 16, and 17. So these pillars ensure that we would be able to achieve a long-term economic growth by balancing, okay, the impact of human actions, okay, to our environment, and consequently bringing a better life, okay, for the present and the future generations. The 5Ps was created, okay, by the United Nations Foundation as pillar framework. Okay, these are actually intertwined framework to create a better world for all of us. Okay, for the future generation, with okay the following abbreviations. Okay, so P1 represents the people. Okay, P2 represents the planet. P3 means prosperity. P4 means peace, and last, okay, P5 we have partnership, in which all of the SDGs fit into. Okay, so all of the sustainable goals can be categorized to be part, okay, of these 5P values, which will be used, okay, in the assessment of the SDG goals, whether we achieve them or not, okay, by 2030. Okay, in this slide, okay, you will see the alignment, okay, of the 17 SDGs, okay, with the 5 pillar goals and the 3 pillar sectors, okay, that I mentioned in the previous slides. So basically, you would see in this slide, okay, how they are aligned, okay, or how important, okay, this 17 SDG goals, okay, to ensure that we would be able to achieve a better society, okay, by 2030. So P, representing people, only shows the commitment, okay, of the United Nations to eradicate, okay, poverty and hunger in all forms and dimensions, and ensuring that all human beings can reach their full potential in dignity, okay, equality, and of course a healthy environment. So the first, the second, the third, fourth, fifth, and sixth, okay, goals are all intended, okay, to achieve that. So following the United Nations directives by 2030, we seek to ensure, okay, that no one will be left behind, and okay, SDG goals, okay, as expressed, okay, would be achieved. So a better quality of living, okay, for everyone, okay, by 2030. By the second P, the planet, in order to meet the requirements, the present and for the present and of course the future generations, the United Nations is committed to protect the world, okay, from any form of deteriorations. As much as possible, think of a better way of consuming our resources, okay, and think of a better way of managing, okay, our resources, particularly making immediate action in relation to the issue of climate change. The 6, 12, 13, 14, and 15, okay, SDGs are all intended, okay, for that. So we're basically reforming, okay, our actions, our responses, okay, so that better action, okay, for climate change, okay, would be done. Prosperity, of course, is very important. United Nations is highly committed to ensuring, okay, that all people would live in a prosperous and meaningful lives, okay, that economic, social, and technical development would be achieved in harmony with nature. So the SDGs are not meant to diminish the significance of economic development, but there should be a balance, okay, in terms of how economically, okay, we could achieve more, we could progress, but at the same time, we protect, okay, our environment. So in order for the globe to live in peace and prosperity, economic growth is important, okay, but we should be able to protect, okay, our environment. Peace, of course, is another important point, okay, wherein United Nations is highly committed, okay, how to foster a peaceful, inclusive, and just society devoid of fear and violence. There cannot be peace without sustainable, okay, development. So likewise, there cannot be sustainable development, okay, without peace. So peace has been a major consideration in the development of the 2030 agenda, so that it would be easier for us to achieve, okay, all the other SDG goals. So as shown, the 16 SDG or SDG 16 demonstrates how the international community must be able to collaborate, work together to maintain, protect global peace, okay, preferably by establishment of robust institutions of justice and not through the use of force. And lastly, the importance of partnership. The United Nations is strongly motivated, okay, to mobilize the resources needed to carry out this agenda through revitalized global partnership for sustainable development, based on a spirit of strengthened global solidarity, centered on the needs of the poorest and, of course, the most vulnerable, involving all countries, all stakeholders, and all people. So Goal 17 is dedicated into this, necessary to achieve all the goals. Although SDGs were adopted by the member countries of the United Nations, it's very important that we should bear in mind that the achievement of SDGs requires the participation of the entire global community, because this basically affects everyone, okay, in this world. Now, on the second part, okay, of my talk, which is very crucial, okay, given what we are celebrating today, in what ways can basic science and of course, okay, evidence-based research can help achieving the 2030 SDG agenda? Late in 2019, okay, the UNESCO General Conference passed a resolution declaring this year, okay, the International Year of Basic Sciences for Sustainable Development. So the purpose is basically to highlight, okay, the value of sciences for sustainable development and their contribution to the execution of the 2030 agenda. Now, what is basic science or sciences, and why is this important? Basic science can sometimes be called pure or fundamental science, okay, which include, of course, as mentioned a while ago, disciplines of mathematics, okay, physics, chemistry, and biology, which helps researchers and scientists understand living systems and life processes. In this way, we could understand better, okay, the society that we live in, diagnose the problems, okay, that we are facing, predict, okay, and of course, prevent concerns and problems. And then with this, okay, provide solutions to the many social, economic, and environmental problems that we are facing. So through basic sciences, researchers, scientists try to achieve fundamental goals of one, understanding our world and ourselves. Okay, so we understand, okay, our world and ourselves. And second, improve our lives through the development of technology and improving processes for development. How is this connected, okay, to SDG? Obviously, okay, so researches are very important. We need data by 2030, okay? It's the time to assess. It's the time to evaluate. Are we achieving something? Okay, are we in the right direction? Are we in the right path? Okay, so we need data to ensure that by 2030, okay, we have something to assess, okay, and we could make a decision as to what actions still need to be done, okay, so that we could improve the condition that we are in. So as said, okay, basic basic sciences, okay, are basically scientific capital, okay, the research, okay, that they're doing are scientific capital for development, okay, for progress. And we need to ensure, okay, that we are doing it the right way, okay, or the correct way. As said by Henry Tovey, a Canadian-born American chemist who was awarded the 1983 Nobel Prize in Chemistry for his work on mechanisms for electron transfer reactions, as we continue to improve, okay, our understanding of the basic science on which applications increasingly depend, material benefits, okay, of this and other kinds are secured for the future. So it's like the SDG. Okay, so 2030 is the time to assess, okay, so that we would be able to ensure that a better society, okay, for 2030, okay, or during 2030 and the future would be good for us to enjoy, okay? By 2030, okay, we will be assessing this, okay, the 17 global goals with 169 targets scientifically. 169 targets and 232 unique indicators. You can do the assessment, okay, you cannot perform the assessment if you don't have the data as basis, okay, for your assessment, okay? So to say that you did well, okay, you were successful, and there would be good actions, okay, to perform in the next 2 or 3 more decades, okay, we need to have clear anchor, okay, we need to have clear data before we could move on. So in 2030, it's very important, okay, that we have those data present, okay? So let us be more specific in terms of example or action. SDG 5, which is on gender equality, is not new, okay? It's actually something that most people are actually concerned with, okay? We know the targets, okay? And given these targets, okay, we actually created many, okay, measures, many indices, okay, so that we would be able to achieve gender equality. However, okay, reality shows that while we recognize that gender is important, that gender matters, data remains to be a big challenge. Okay, so we need still more studies, we need still more researches, okay, data that would help us assess, okay, whether we are really empowering, okay, our women or other genders in our society. Or are we really achieving gender equality, okay, in our society up to 2030? Okay, in this slide, okay, you would actually see different, okay, measures with different indicators, okay, or different, okay, different domains, different areas, okay, used by different institutions to measure gender equality. You notice a lot of studies, a lot of efforts are being done to gather the data, all in preparation of the 2030 SDG agenda, okay? All just for the idea of SDG number 5 on gender equality. But given all of this still, okay, a lot of debates, okay, a lot of discourses, okay, are actually present. The 2022 Global Gender Gap, okay, Index was actually released, okay, this year, following 4 important domains. So economic participation and opportunity, educational attainment, health and survival, and political empowerment. Crucial are the indicators because these are actually important measures, okay, for you to scientifically, objectively, okay, rate, okay, whether gender equality is being achieved, okay, or are we in the right track, okay, given the action requested, okay, by the United Nations. The UN is actually providing a lot of funds, okay, a lot of grants are now available, and they are actually calling for more studies, more research is being done. So it's actually a challenge, okay, for us, okay, to go into this, okay, but because there are a lot of indices now available. However, I noticed, okay, many are actually more following, okay, the Global Gender Gap Index, okay, as I would say a more reliable measure, okay, of gender equality. Given this, okay, these are actually the top 10 countries with the highest gender equality based on the 2022, okay, survey following the Global Gender Gap, okay, Index. So you would see Iceland, Finland, Norway, New Zealand, Sweden. Okay, we have Rwanda, Nicaragua, Namibia, Ireland, and Germany. Okay, as the top 10 countries with the highest gender equality. On the other hand, okay, you would see on this slide other countries, okay, with the list, okay, gender equality, or I would say the top 10 countries with the lowest rating when it comes to gender equality, showing highest level, okay, of inequality or disparity. So using science, basic, of course, in this case, mathematics, okay, research would give us a good guide, okay, as to proper way of assessing, okay, the right direction that we are moving, okay, when it comes to the 2030 SDG agenda. In this slide, okay, in the interest of course, the Indian and of course the Filipino audience, you would see, okay, the comparison of the data, okay, generated, okay, by the global gender gap, okay, in this year 2022. So India is actually part of South Asia, okay, and it's actually in the 6th rank, okay, in the South Asia, and 135th, okay, given the global ranking. The Philippines, on the other hand, we actually dropped, okay, because we were actually on the 7th position previous year. Okay, this time, okay, we're on the 19th, okay, position, and second only in East Asia and the Pacific. More publications, okay, need to be done. We should be able to contribute, okay, give our share in the production of data so that, okay, we would be able to help, okay, in the assessment or evaluation, okay, of the global goals, okay, by 2030. And of course, okay, produce better evidence-based research. Okay, we do not just produce research, but we produce research that are evidence-based. Okay, by that, okay, we mean anchored, okay, on the local conditions and local situations, following, okay, the method of science. It's very important that it should be triangulated, okay, transparent, can easily be communicated when it comes to results, okay, action-oriented, and, okay, willing to accept its limitations. Likewise, can be validated, okay, as a research. Okay, so with this, okay, I'm ending my talk, and I'd like to greet everyone. Happy World Science Day. And again, okay, thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, great Dr. Myla. Thank you for enlightening us with your great speech and presentation. This is a work of a great science. You see here what our Dr. Myla show us, what solutions, what about the researches, what we need to do, how we need to act. Dr. Myla, you started with the all SDGs, with the collection of the 17 SDGs. What enlighten us with the 5P, PC. What is PC? The people, the prosperity, the planet, the peace, the partnership. Yes, and this is the main test for this. This is why this day and this event is very, very important, and we need to continue as you show us to improve the understanding of the basic science on all the applications, and that then we will have the benefits and see how to secure our future. Big, big, big clap. I can
Thank
make
you.
and I can talk a lot about your speech. I like this statistics. I like this global outlook, the comparison, the show of the global top 10 and how they are ranked and what is their score and what is the regional position of India and the Philippines. You make this, we see this according to the Global Gender Gap Index. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Myla, so much.
Thank you, Dr. Nada. We both love numbers.
Yes.
And statistics. Okay.
Yes, that is our love. We like that. Yes. Now we are still in the Philippines. We have an amazing science. Dr. Victoria, are you here? I don't see you.
Hello,
Oh, yes,
good
yes.
evening.
Good evening.
Am I audible?
Yes, you are. I want to say now that we have an amazing science from the Philippines also here with us. That is our Dr. Victoria P. Valenzuela. She's a professor. She's coming She's coming from the Bulacan State University. She's an auditor in the IHRM Philippines, and I'm not presenting them because we don't have time. It is more important what our great Dr. Victoria will say today here on this great IIU stage. Welcome.
Thank you so much, Prof. Nada. And good evening, everyone. I am honored to be part of this webinar. And let me share with you my screen share.
Yes. Dr. Victoria, today you are so beautiful.
So much.
Yes. It is okay. It is great.
Have you seen my screen, my
yes,
PowerPoint
yes.
presentation?
It is great. You can
Okay,
start.
so yes, my presentation is about basic sciences for sustainable development, a tool for true development. As I have said by Dr. Myla, in November of 2019, the United Nations General Assembly passed a resolution to declare year 2022 as the International Year of Basic Sciences for Sustainable Development. And on December 2, 2021, the UN General Assembly invited all member states to observe and raised awareness of the importance of basic sciences for sustainable development. The resolution aims to support the United Nations 2030 Agenda and adopted in 2015 for the sustainable development of all the world's population. Its ambitious goals are to really eliminate extreme poverty, reduce inequality, and protect the planet. And the resolution as a background is an acknowledgement that the solutions to the calamities humankind that are experiencing are all rooted in basic sciences. The International Year of Basic Sciences for Sustainable Development 2022 aims to highlight the links between basic sciences and Sustainable Development Goals, which is SDG 1 to SDG 13. Eliminating poverty and climate action, basic sciences are pushed to provide the training skills and know-how necessary for the application of innovations that countries need to move from general goals to effective actions. And the challenge to respond to the UNGA's call to action in 2022 is really for all Filipinos. If the Philippines were to rise out of poverty, it will need the help of its countries, scientific minds to use science as a tool for true development, and one that is sustainable and not just as part of development. And in these slides, there are 4 general areas that science can contribute to achieve the SDGs. Number 1 is challenges. Number 2 is actions that make a difference. Monitoring progress, number 3, and 4, innovative solutions. Likewise here, the science and innovations are of critical importance to address the challenges of increasing agricultural productivity, making food healthier, improving the quality of diets and conserving biodiversity. Innovation is a key driver for increased productivity and thus for economic growth. This is also emphasized in target 8.2, which calls for higher levels of economic productivity achieved through diversification, technological upgrading, and innovations. And in response to this UNGA's to eradicate the poverty and to have this climate change, the future of barangay village, solidarity program, and community-based enterprise approaches for the local governance of the Sustainable Development Goals was conducted by the College of Social Sciences and Philosophy, Department of Public Administration and Governance. And as you can see here, we have this input, process, output, and outcome and impact of different SDGs. SDGs number 1 is to really increase the income and also the target for no hunger, quality education for SDG 4. And we have also here the SDG 7, SDG 8, 9, 10, 12 for those sustainable consumption and ensure the growth of quantile and the clean technology through research and development and high value of goods production, as well as the having this kind of gender equality, just like what Dr. Myla said a while ago. And this is also part of this International Monetary Fund from the post-pandemic. The pre-pandemic UN SDG funding shortfall estimated of 2/3, and the government pandemic response in increased deficit due to health expenditures. Our globalization and trade commodities are no longer appropriate. That's why in the municipality of Marilao, in the Barangay Nagbalon or village, we have this actually the tidal plots as their topography, and one of them is Barangay Nagbalon. From that empirical observations of residents, these are flooding due to sea level rise, as you can see here. And even here, the resource productivity, and there's no manufacturing and services company in this area. And the only resource is the working of population, age population. And in a post-pandemic world, and the local government of Nagbalon, we aspire to a new, better normal, where there is solidarity between and among generations of its residents. Firstly, abandon the myth of aging as a declining and wasting, because the senior citizens have the wisdom gained from the fluid and crystallized intelligence. They have all the talents, other forms of intelligence, rather than the pursuit of the wisdom of senior citizens to be undertaken, because this area is aging society. And is declining, and the number of old persons is increasing. That's why we have this population growth rate. Another is these objectives, wherein because of this, we have 3 identified problems in this area. Number 1 is lack of economic activity, the frequent flooding limited to the tidal cycle due to climate change, due to population aging. And to address this is objectives. Identify the needs of Nagbalon, examine the real happiness of older persons, the expectations the society has for them, and how people adapt to future forces in later life. Collaboration and co-create through the Barangay Solidarity Program as the provision of technical support to community-based enterprises whose intention is to break the poverty trap of the poorest of the poor, most vulnerable to the impact of climate change, with the production and marketing of healthier, higher values using renewable energy. And also build the capacity and capability of the barangay to attain the UN SDG through the implementation of the Barangay Solidarity Program with the setup of community-based enterprise that addresses and achieves sustainable development goals and partnerships among stakeholders. And these are part of the baseline economic profile, enterprise management for education and training. We have also conducted some training on leadership, digital platforms, and enterprise management. And these are for the both mixed methods, quantitative and qualitative designs, to be employed here as our designs and research methodology. As far as the results is concerned, conference and briefing on the SDGs, where the barangay chairman commented on the UN SDG is a concept that is pie in the sky. There is a need to bring the SDGs in the ground reality of the barangay or village. The demographic data was made available and was used to establish ground reality. And as you can see, the training of and education of the local governance for achieving sustainable development goals beyond pandemic was done in this area, in this barangay or in this village. And to determine also the happiness of the older person, we have also this type of 10 areas. We have 10F, which are part of the food intake, fitness, faculty, and the friends, feelings, family, faith, financial, future, and fear of the senior citizens because of the aging population of this area. And the results shows that the senior citizens were very happy in relations with their family, friends, future, food, feelings with the highest mean, while fitness, faculty, fear, financial, and faith with the lowest mean. But here, food, fitness, feelings, family, faculty, friend, and faith have been found positively and significantly related to the level of happiness of senior citizens. Even during the pandemic and post-pandemic, we have these 4 out of 7 factors contributing to the happiness of senior citizens before the pandemic. These are the friends, the faculty or the brain, food, and family. However, the 10 dimensions during the pandemic, faith, faculty, and future are the predictors of happiness of older persons because of this type of our COVID-19 pandemic. As well as in the municipality of Marilao, we have this Mayor Silvestre who expresses support to the economic enterprise and commitment of this part of this village. And also he showed the videos of this flood control initiatives. And he committed 400,000 pesos for the food processing and equipment of this barangay Nagbalon. And we have also this type of meeting with the barangay chairman, which aging survey was presented and information were gathered. Here is the funding turnover from the barangay Nagbalon. Another is the application and implementation of basic sciences for sustainable development. For this type of implementation, we have the planning workshop. So these are part of the planning workshop of barangay officials, as well as the different stakeholders of the village. And 28 March, the interim officers strategic planning also conducted with the different officials. And we have also the orientation of this with the stakeholders to come up with a good project for this Nagbalon or project of economic enterprises. We have also education training on livelihood program as well. And then we have this turnover of the equipment and materials needed. We provided materials needed in the food processing. Continuation of education and training to come up with the 22 different flavors of their products. Also, another is different equipment used by the different housewives. And this is the part of the highlights of this training and education, because they have this association registered with the Department of Labor and Employment as part of the labor-owned enterprises. From the housewives to labor-owned enterprise of the 12 housewives. This meant that there is a legal personality for this association Sama Ka Na, and the way forward will be to bring the capacity to the level where there are products and services that are delivered to identified clientele. Thus, the training on enterprise management is very essential. And these are the examples of livelihood products that they have made, no? And another is the sustainable livelihood programs to achieve SDG 1, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 12. And as you can see here, our university president is very supportive in dealing with our different extension services. We have this called Sambalaran in order to highlight the different products and different research and extension programs of the Bulacan University. And part of the conclusion and recommendations, the patent future have significantly contributed to the happiness of senior citizens during the pandemic. For the brain of the senior citizens was significantly predictor of both before and during the pandemic. And we have these conclusions, recommendations, the interconnected of different 10F or the happiness of older persons of the SDGs 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, and 9, 10, and 17 as part of the partnerships. We have also the theory of change here. From the pre and during COVID-19, the post-pandemic governance, from business as usual, but to a new, better normal, to the senior citizens marginalized in the midst of aging, but they have all the wisdom, fluid, crystallized, and stacked knowledge of senior citizens that are harnessed by the youth and the world aging population. Unproductive climate change impacted natural resource, endowing and farm and fish fund, to the setup of enterprise incubation models with facility for pilot scalable digital performed and able food production. And another is the manufacturing service sectors to the mode scale community-based enterprises with digital platform. And these are part of the stakeholders collaboration, co-production, and knowledge co-creation, realizing to meet the challenges on what the people feel, need, get involved in the resilient, bright future capacity building. And for future researchers, make government organizations as co-leadership, co-organizers of every village success for aging society, pandemic crisis, climate change and economic enterprise of individual and social levels for basic sciences for sustainable development goals of local governance. And another lessons and takeaways for this is that future researchers may conduct a study on the impact of economic enterprises on the quality of the life of the members of the community at individual and social levels for sustainable development goals of local governance. And this is part of my presentation. Thank you for listening.
Thank you. Thank you, great. Thank you a lot, great Dr. Victoria. What to say on your topic? Amazing. The basic science for sustainable development as a tool for the true development. You show us starting from the background from the four general areas, the challenges, the actions that can make a difference, monitoring the progress and innovative solutions. Really, on your university, through these models and through the help and through the you show and say International Monetary Fund economic findings from the post-pandemic, the whole timeline in what is happening in the town Marilino. What are the local government doing about the objectives, what results and discussion we have, really that you determine that happiness for the old persons, citizens. This programs, the education and training of the livelihood programs, the trainings and education. And I like when you say that your dean has understand all this, and we taking a lot of actions in achieving SDG 1, 2, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 12, a sustainable livelihood programs. You have that on your university. So great conclusion, recommendation, the theory of change. And yes, the future researchers need to make and consider that what the government organizations and the leaderships are making for that. And so what to say? Amazing. We can make and talk about your presentation whole day. Thank you. Thank you for joining. We are really honored to have you with us again, and be sure you will be again with us, like our Dr. Myla, Dr. Puilet, because I am a hunter on the brains, on the heads, and I always have the best scientists. So I will approve that. Going to our next guest, eminent. He's young, but he's so great. He has so great results. He's coming from the Philippines, and he is Dr. John Mark R. Asio. He's a research director on the Gordon College from the Olongapo City, Philippines. Welcome, Dr. John Mark R. Asio. To the IIU
Good day.
stage, first time at this platform, but not the last. Welcome.
Good day, Professor Nada. Am I audible?
Yes, but we still don't see the presentation. Maybe,
Okay.
yes.
Okay, let me share my screen.
Okay.
Okay, is it visible already, Doc?
Yes, great. It is great. You can
Okay.
start, and welcome.
Okay, thank you very much for this wonderful privilege. It's quite nerve-wracking for me because this is my first time here in this conference, and this is, of course, in the international arena. However, just like what the other two speakers, I'll be also dealing with the role of basic science in sustainable development and pursuit of peace. Now, this is more of a personal synopsis, so I'll be dealing with my personal perspective on the aspects of basic science in relationship to the sustainable development and for the involvement of peace as well. So without further ado, so the basic science, okay? So let's start with basic science. The world that we are living right now is a testament of how humanity strive to make life easier and worthwhile, while they deliberately try to discover new things, invent new ideas and concepts that will help humanity survive to the harsh environment that we are living in. Man has always been making innovations and inventions so that his existence will not perish on the face of the earth. That is why, of course, he is greedy to make use of things surrounding him. So he's trying to exploit as much as possible to his own needs. Now, basic science are disciplines that, like what had been mentioned from the two previous speakers, these disciplines are what students have learned today in schools through the process of education. Teachers taught these disciplines in order to make the future better for them. These subjects provide fundamental understanding of a particular phenomenon and the process by which resources that we have are transformed into something new. In other words, basic science helps researchers and even us academicians to comprehend the living systems and life processes in the environment that we are thriving. Now, I will now try to relate basic sciences with its practical implications and applications. So, in the field of medicine, basic science paved way in predicting, preventing, diagnosing, and treating certain disease or certain diseases by discovering new cure, like in the form of drug, and treatment or even surgery to those debilitating diseases of the century. Therefore, the life expectancy of the population will definitely be prolonged, and the quality of life will also be more enjoyable amongst mankind. Recently, we just experienced the pandemic of the century, the COVID-19, and definitely it affected the lives of the whole world in a blink of an eye. However, basic science came to the rescue, okay, and somehow provided a course of action that slowed down its progress, especially the spread of the infection. Science made some breakthroughs, and scientists and great thinkers worked 24/7 in order to halt the fast spread of the infection. Although many have sacrificed their lives during the pandemic, and we cannot argue on that. However, humanity somehow learned its lesson. Now, in the field of engineering, basic science has provided concepts and different perspectives in terms of designing a more conducive workplace, learning area, or simply an equipment or tools to help us in our daily routines at home. For instance, the invention of the telephone. Okay, so in the early days, communication is limited only by the word of mouth or by writing. Of course, one of the greatest invention of man that I may consider would be the language. Okay, and it takes time before the news will reach the other side. However, because of the telephone, thanks to its inventor, communication became faster and more convenient. In addition, through time, telephone has evolved and crossed the seas and oceans, and now one can communicate from the other continent. Today, telephone became part of our lives, and sometimes you cannot live without it. Why? Because the simple telephone today now became a smartphone, and of course, the rest is history. Again, thanks to the new breakthroughs of technology, the basic science always makes itself known from time to time. That is why basic science has a great impact in our lives due to its unlimited provisions to make us more comfortable and more adaptable. Now, in the field of environmental science, basic science also plays its own contribution. Our natural resources are abundant, and of course, it is not readily available for human consumption without the intervention of science. Now, in order to exploit this nature, or what nature has provided us, we need the help of science to use it to its maximum potential. For instance, food production. The planet and its inhabitants is in dire need of food. Its population is growing faster, and the food is already scarce to some areas of the world due to, of course, natural disasters and weather phenomenon. These naturally occurring events can be explained by science as well. However, man is always affected by it, and a lot suffers from them. Nevertheless, basic science can provide interventions if only man is willing to sacrifice and be patient. Man must accept that nature has its own due course, and we are just part of its ecosystem. Sometimes, basic science has unexpected applications as well. So, for instance, in making household products like appliances and other house equipments, they provide necessities at home and makes our life easier and more suitable. Almost everything at home now is just a push of a button. However, it is of course not applicable to some impoverished areas in some other areas of the world. Even the economy is affected by basic science. How? It provides jobs and help companies to join the local and world market. More jobs means, of course, more employment. And more employment means enough financial security, leading to less hunger among the population. And of course, this is part of the Sustainable Development Goal that was mentioned previously by our two great speakers. Now, its practical implication is endless. Man is only limited by its imagination. Today, basic science, we use basic science in order to address or to have sustainability. Now, when we talk about sustainability, we try to address the needs of the current generation without conceding the needs of the future. This idea ensures the balance between economic growth, the environment, and the social well-being of the population. Therefore, the concept of sustainable development is a process that meets the present needs of the people without compromising the ability of the future generations to meet their own. Now, just like what I mentioned, the United Nations, with the help of its member countries, adopted the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development, which included its 17 Sustainable Development Goals. Okay, these Sustainable Development Goals or global goals are a collection of 17 interlinked global goals designed to be, of course, as a shared blueprint for peace and prosperity for people. Now, each goals has a unique feature, and basic science has something to do with it. Now, if I may say, basic science has to do with every human activity and development from the past, even the past millennia. From the great philosophers to the current great scientists that we have, basic science contributed tremendously for the advancement of human knowledge and capabilities to conform to the fast-paced and changing world of the unknown. Of course, the great discoveries and advancement of basic sciences comes with its aftermath and side effects. Okay, going back to our previous examples, like in medicine, science discovered antibiotics. So antibiotics is used to combat infections. However, infections also became resistant or more resistant due to the inappropriate use of the said drug. Okay. Now man has also invented super infections which are hard to cure today. This event may easily affect the population, just like the recent pandemic. Moreover, in the field of engineering, we are now using smartphones, just like what I mentioned about the telephone. We are now using smartphones. However, we now become lazier than the usual because almost everything is already on the tip of our fingers and in the palm of our hands. If you want to go shopping, for instance, we usually drive to a nearby supermarket and stroll around to buy our own stuff, which entails, of course, mobility and exercise that our body needs. However, because of the technology, the basic science has provided, we no longer need to go out. Just swipe your phone and your groceries will be delivered right in front of your doorsteps. There is no need to exert too much effort. Thus, this will lead to sedentary lifestyle, which is unhealthy to our body. And then sooner or later, we will develop unnecessary life-threatening conditions or diseases due to lack of exercise or mobility. Okay. As for our natural resources, it is not obvious and today that our natural resources are being misused in many ways. For example, mining, fishing, and logging, to name a few, just because this is for their personal gains and motives of selected few. When man invented money, they became greedier. Money became a sign of power and prestige. Because of money, our natural resources suffered due to this uncontrollable exploitation. These adverse effects are tantamount to a bigger and complex problems. For example, economic meltdown, which will lead to recession. Due to recession, businesses will close and go bankrupt. Many employees will lose their jobs, and money will lose its value as well. These jobless individuals will then succumb to poverty, which will, of course, lead to hunger. And eventually, the most horrible part would be death. What more can we ask for? On the other hand, our natural resources, if they are mismanaged, will lead to early exhaustion, like coal and petroleum products. It took millions of years for them to develop. However, man only consumes them for just a brief amount of time. Okay? Agricultural lands become barren due to inappropriate use of chemicals like pesticides and inorganic fertilizers. Deforestation leads to natural disasters like landslides and flooding, as well as global warming and other natural weather phenomena, which may again lead to man's desolation to the face of the earth. Now, These events are considered as catastrophes, both natural and human in nature. But of course, I would like to discuss more on the human aspect. Since man is innately insatiable and always look for something that will steer his interest, this may lead to inappropriate behavior and action. Somehow, basic science has something to do with it again. Because of his curiosity, man is driven to find out answers to his never-ending pursuit of knowledge. Basic science provided man with answers, and these answers are sometimes too difficult to understand or comprehend by him. One particular man-made catastrophe would be war. Over the course of the history, war is recorded, fought over, and many have sacrificed their lives in order to attain their main goals. Whatever the main goals of this war, it all boils down to the idea of man's selfish desires and greed. Now, how did basic science become part of it? Well, basic science invented killing machines or killing equipments like swords, lances, and spears. As man evolved, so did the equipments. They become much more sophisticated machines like guns, grenades, and bombs. And for a more advanced type of warfare, biological agents like bacteria, viruses, fungi, and even insects were put to use against mankind. We have observed this for the past centuries, and it continues to advance. More lives are being consumed by these chaotic entities, and this must be stopped. Now, with a straight mindset, basic science is geared towards alleviation or alleviating the challenges and dilemmas that mankind has to face in their everyday life. Basic science should not be used to exterminate the existence of mankind. That is why I strongly believe that basic science can also solve man's basic instincts of survival without resorting to abuse and irrational behavior. Basic science can also help in promoting peace among everyone. With the guiding principles of the Sustainable Development Goals, I think man can attain peace both in mind and in its surrounding. Man simply needs time to think about these actions and its possible consequences. Basic science will always be around to aid him in his decision-making so that sustainable development can be attained, which will lead to a more peaceful environment, conducive for everyone to live and thrive, and ready for the next generation to prosper. In conclusion, it is inevitable that man is subjected to many hardships and obstacles. It is part of its existence to the different conditions that he is bound to take as long as he lives. Man must learn to accept the basic fact that you must be satisfied to whatever things that you have and capable of doing. You do not need to impress everyone around you. Technically speaking, they do not have business with you, so why waste time impressing them? Peace starts within oneself. If everyone has this basic notion, everyone can live in prosperity. With the help of basic science, it can offer sustenance to everyone's basic needs. Sustainable development will also help maintaining the balance in the fulcrum so that the future will not be left behind with nothing. In this wonderful circle of life, if man can only be selfless and be more open-minded, I strongly believe that basic science, sustainable development, and peace can work hand in hand for man's ultimate survival. So with that, thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you for your amazing presentation. A big, big clap to our great Dr. John. Really, the role of basic science in sustainable development, the pursuit of peace. We like it. We like what you say, that what needs basic science to provide. We need to understand that phenomena, and it is a phenomena, and how to do it and how to comprehend it in other different systems, and you show us the accepted applications, unaccepted applications in the household, in the economy, practical implication, and how will it address to the need of the sustainability and sustainable development, what our next generation can expect about this, and what is the in the medicine, engineering, environment, curious. So thank you. I like the conclusion. I like the speech. I like the presentation. I know that this is a short time. So next time we will have longer. Thank you for conclusion, because yes, the peace starts within oneself. We need to think on that. Everyone can live in the prosperity, yes, but everyone can live, but everyone can need to help to a person to the prosperity. And basic science is always helping, yes, and that is why today we are also promoting this basic science. And without sustainable development, there will be no balance. What an amazing speech. Thank you. Thank you so much. So now from Philippines, we are going to India. We are going to India, and we have Professor Gajanan Digambar Chitre, the assistant professor from the Department of Chemistry, Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Marathwada University from India. I am apologizing for my spelling, but I hope that it was Professor Gajanan. Understand and welcome. We are really honored that you are with us for the first time. I'm honored. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining us.
Hello, Nanda ma'am. How are you?
Great, great. I broken my glasses before this session, so great. We don't see you. Professor Gajanan. Professor, do you hear us? I think that we lose our professor. Professor Gajanan. Yes, no word. Professor, we don't hear you and don't see you. I think we have some problems, network issues. Professor Gajanan.
Happy International Science Day, all of you.
Yes.
Congratulations for IIU, Piyush Pandit sir, Dr. Frolina ma'am, all honorable speaker, Dr. Maila, Dr. Victoria ma'am, everybody on. What is the meaning of basic sciences for sustainable development? They provide the means to address vital challenges such as access to food, energy, health, and communications for all. They allow us to understand the impact on the planet of the more than 8 billion people living today and to act to limit and sometimes even reduce it. How do basic sciences contribute to sustainable development? Basic sciences have an important contribution to make to the implementation of this program. They provide the essential means to meet crucial challenges such as universal access to food, energy, health coverage, and communication technologies. By addressing few interdependent aspects of development such as social equality, environmental protection, economic growth, citizen participation, gender equality, and institutional strengthening. Sustainable development aims to improve the quality of life for all people and all species. Why science is important? Science increases our fundamental knowledge. New technology create new applications. Science allows us to share ideas, help us understand our world even better. Important to school student learning science, the benefits. There are 6 factors of sustainability. 3 are based on the natural sciences and 3 are based on social sciences. Sustainability is comprised of a combination of factors: solar energy, biodiversity, nutrients, cycling, economic, political science, and ethics. It can be defined as that development that meets the need of present generation without compromising the ability of future generation to meet their own need. How can we achieve it? Sustainable development, social inclusion, economic growth, environmental protection. Importance of sustainable development. Environmentally sustainable economic growth is another name to the concept of sustainable development, the goal of which is to achieve harmony between environmental sustainability, economic sustainability, and socio-political sustainability. Sustainable development always encourages us to conserve and enhance our resource by gradually changing the manner in which we develop and use technologies. All countries should meet their basic needs of employment, food, energy, water, and sanitation. Everybody is rightful to a health, safe, and clean environment. This can be easily achieved by challenges to sustainable development, poverty, population, inequality, shortage of drinking water, lack of medical facilities, climate change, unemployment, deforestation due to increase in agriculture and urbanization. Examples of sustainable development: use of wild energy. Wild energy is a renewable, no pollution causing source of energy. It can be used to provide powder in houses, building offices. Ozone layer depletions is a topic of concern prevention. By avoiding the use of ozone depleting substances, chlorofluorocarbons, halon based of fire existing, wiser use of solar energy. We should use solar energy instead of fossil fuels because burning of fossil fuels produces greenhouse gases, example methane, carbon dioxide, and these greenhouse gases cause increase in global warming. Crop rotation, it is one of the most important practices within the sustainable agriculture. It improves the soil structure, reduces bulk density, and conserves the nutrient of the soil. Poverty reduction by creating new variety of rice, wheats that has lifted farmers out of poverty. Use of mobile phones is giving farmers and wage seekers linked with market. Conclusion: science plays an important role in sustainable development. The longer we continue to pursue unsustainable development, the more serve will the consequence be sustainable development brings out stability in the requirement of the environment. In the past 20 years, the overall population in industrialized countries has been boosted to somewhere around 28%. These countries are facing many problems such as environmental degradation and over dependence and non-renewable source of energy, resulting in a decline in the standard of living. Suitable development aims of facilitate growth that aligns with the present needs without compromising the availability of resources for future generations. Sustainability is all about long-term preservation of energy and resources rather than consuming them incessantly for stationary short-term needs. In the process of urbanization, industries are degrading the environment with their continuous of natural resources. Sustainable development is all about creating new technology, companies and environment without causing harm to the environment. Human survival has been brought under threat due to environment degradation, due to increasing population, economic development, and deforestation. With the increase in vehicles and industries, greenhouse gas like carbon dioxide, methane are polluting the earth, which has led to an escalation in the temperature. The greenhouse gases have resulted in the melting of ice caps, leading to a rise in sea levels. The government and citizens of the country must take necessary important steps to bring sustainable development. Uses of eco-friendly technology like electronics vehicles instead of petrol and diesel. Yes, can be carried out following the 3R approach: reduce, reuse, and recycle. Minimization of resource use, reusing play bags or jet bags. Instead of throwing them are recycling the material gases along in achieving the goals of sustainability. The government and NGOs should also spread awareness and promote environmental education. Summing it up, the economic development which have achieved so far has adopted various technologies that provide to be harmful to the environment. The completing needs is for sustainable development, which aims at the development of the society without having a negative impact on the environment. Thanks to all my participation in IIU. Everybody.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, great Dr. Rajanan, for your speech, for enlightening us, for being with us today. We like very so many things, solutions. You are a professor of chemistry, you know. Chemistry is destroying this world. Chemistry is a big problem, you know. So you need to give us more solutions for this. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yes, welcome, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Now, we are moving forward. We have one more amazing speaker, and he isn't a professor. He's a doctor. Yada from the CC department, from the area. What happened? From the Area Institute. Welcome, great respected Dr. Rajiv. We have 15.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming and for accepting the invitation. I'm really honored to have you here today.
Thank you, Professor Nada, ma'am, for giving me the opportunity on this international conference for peace and Development 2022. Because basically I'm just in the market, so that I'm not able to join the team. But today now it's my pleasure to join the team for the World Science Conference, International Development, Peace and Development 2022. Basically, we are having so much developments in the science, but we are coming out of our peace, inner peace, which is basically needed in this era. That means everybody in this particular world is full of energy. But now we can say that our energy is diverted towards some technical or as well as the virtual world. And in this particular virtual world, we are lagging the peace. We are lagging the spiritual power within inside. But in the India, as being an older or basically ritual based country where the internal motivation as well as the meditation is taken as very much important. So in the India, we can say that there are so many people who are coming just India to get the peace, to get the calm, to get the basically internal satisfaction and internal motivation ahead of the things, leaving besides all their gadgets, all their technologies. That means in this particular world, we can say that the world is growing just like a village, global village. We can say that. That means everybody is concerned about everybody, but we are not bothered about ourselves. We are not bothered about our inner consciousness. That means we are not exploring ourselves. We are not looking into internally inside to us. In India, we can say that we have a third eye concept. We have a third eye concept. What is third eye basically? Third eye is basically in between the forehead of you and between the two eyes. If we keep shut our eyes, we close our eyes, and we can say that if we keep control of all the energy by which we are sensing the world, like eyes, ears, nose, and all senses of the body, which is getting all our energy towards the world, we have to keep a control. We have to keep a check whether the all energy is to be concentrated as well as to be accumulated inside our body. We can say that it is a piece of center mind. That means we can have a lot of energy and we have to guide, we have to direct the energy for our internal peace. And the whole world, we can say that there is a war going between Ukraine and Russia. There is just particularly, that means they are not balancing the things. They are using the different deadly weapons to destroy the things, to destroy the world only because of the ego problems, boundary problems. That means the whole world is now just put on a third world war stage. So we have to check it out and we have to balance each and everything inside and outside the world. We have to take peace and development as our motto, as our consolidated target or objective, that we have to be very much live in peace and we have to leave the world for a particular peace so that all the belief and exploring inside, we have to take a spiritual meditation facilities by which we can say that we are recharging ourselves and we are re-innovating and rebuild ourselves. As well as we can see that there are a lot of therapies coming out of the things. So we have to check it out which particular part, which particular method is we are giving to the world. And it is a short, brief speech or talk from myself. Nada ma'am, thank you very much. Thank you very much, ma'am, for giving me consideration for the.
Thank you. Thank you. Great, Dr. Rajiv. Thank you for giving us your opinion, your solutions, what to do, why it's necessary, what is important for the basic science, and really an amazing conclusion for today as the last speaker. I want to say this, we really come to the end. This day was amazing. I want to first and foremost thanks to our founder, Sir Piyush Pandit, for giving us this opportunity, for enlightening us with the IIU stage. For the organizers, Sir Piyush, Dr. Frolian, the International Human Rights Movement, and me from the International Internship IIU Research Centre. We know, and as we said at the beginning, we need to build a bridge between the science and society. And this World Science Day needs to be more days and needs to be, I can say, through the whole year, because
Exactly.
peace, development, and all others, all 17 SDG goals can be through whole the year. And we, like academicians, we like a science educators, we are that who will motivate our students. And other fields, there will be the engineers, there will be the doctors. So each one, in each one science need to work on this. It is very necessary. All my guests today were very valuable. Were very great. I want to express my gratitude to our Dr. Kuliat, who is in the United States of America, keynote speaker, to our great Dr. Myla, great Dr. Victoria, our Dr. John, Professor Gajada, Dr. Ranjit. You were all so great. So you make this day very amazing. And thanks to our lovely audience today for being a part of this conference. So all of us need to keep reflecting, learning, collaborating, enjoying, being nice to yourself, and not being only nice to yourself. We need to be nice to each one person, and we need to popularize the science. We need to make that. I want to say one example. In my country, in my Croatia, we have twice in the years, we are making a festival. We are making the festival for the science, Festival of the Science, and there are involved from the preliminary schools, from the secondary schools, the university, academicians, all are involved. So we started with talking about the high-end technology, what is artificial intelligence doing. Dr. Myla show us the statistics. We see the numbers, what the numbers are saying. She make a comparison between India and Philippines. And sure, in my country is also that. So we need to continue working. We need to continue collaborating, this collaboration. And I said when all of you talk, you are so great, because, and I'm really honored. I'm really happy because I know you all, and I'm happy that all you join our great IIU platform. And Dr. John, you are here for the first time. Professor Gajanan, you also. Dr. Rajiv, you are also first time. So this will not be only the once, it will be more, because we are coming with so many events, so many conferences, and we are really working a lot, and we want to hear your voice. We want to hear your solutions. We have so many, we have so many things, so many problems in this world that we need to solve. So I want you all to open the switch the camera. Dr. Rajiv, please. I want to make one group photo. Dr. Rajiv, please. Dr. Rajiv, don't hear me. Professor Gajanan, you are beautiful on that photo, but we want to see you. Professor Gajanan. Yes.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Yes. You need to switch a camera. You don't need to hide. We want to see you, Dr. Rajiv, Dr. John. Our audience, our watchers want to see who they were listening today. So I will make a beautiful photo. Big smile.
Yes.
Great.
Our congratulations, everybody. Today's Happy International Science Day.
Yes.
Yes.
And
Very
chemistry.
wonderful webinar, wonderful, outstanding, knowledgeable.
Yes,
All
thank you.
professors, doctors. Very nice.
We need more solutions from you, Professor of the Chemistry. We need that.
Yes, yes.
Dr. Victoria, what you say? Unmute yourself. Unmute yourself. Unmute yourself. You are muted.
Yes, we need to conduct more research.
Yes.
Research, and then that research output will become our extension services.
Dr. Myla?
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Dr. Nada, okay, for inviting me. A pleasure, okay, to join everyone. I hope there would still be another opportunity wherein I could also join you guys, okay, for another webinar like this. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you. There will be a lot of opportunity here, and also we are so I can say that we are moving from one place to another place, and here you see Dr. Ranji was with me on another conference, so we are all visible everywhere, and I'm really grateful and honored that we are together, that we are cooperating, that we can make this great events and bring very useful conclusions for our students, for our youth. Thank you so much for being today. Till our next event, stay safe, stay healthy, and let's be together again. Bye-bye.
Congratulations, everyone. Thank you so much.
Bye. Congratulations.
Congratulations, everyone.
Bye.
Congratulations, everyone.
Bye.
Thanks. Thank you so much for IIU participation.